This is Fires Reinhardt. You are watching Gardening with Dad. Today, I am going to explain to you vegetables that are not tender. Tender means edible and ready to harvest. Your vegetables won't be tender if you let them grow too long, or if you leave it on one spot for too long too. Today, I'm going to show you some vegetables that are not tender and vegetables that are tender. Come with me on this gardening adventure. So right now, we are going to explore this whole garden, and we are going to see vegetables that are tender and not tender. You see this squash? This squash is still tender, but we're not going to harvest it because we want it to grow long like this. And if you're thinking, this is too long, is this tender too? Yes, this is tender because we are growing long squash, so this squash is going to grow long. So if this squash maybe goes all the way over here, then it's probably not going to be tender. People use this method sometimes. I like to call this method the nail method. How this method works, first you have to take your thumbnail and you have to pinch it where the squash is. Let me show you how. You put your nail here and you press. You see, I pinched it very easily. That means your squash is still tender. If I go pinch this squash, you see, I pinched it too easily, so that means that I need to let this grow for more time. Come with me, I am going to show you more squashes in my garden. Take a look at this squash. You see, I pinched a hole right here on the squash, but it was a little bit hard. So that means I have to push it a little harder like this. That means your squash is tender, but if you leave it here for over 2 or 3 days, then this squash won't be edible anymore. That's why I'm going to harvest this squash today. When you're buying squashes from the store, make sure to pinch the squash with your nail. Then if you pinched it very easily, that means your squash is a good squash and it is edible. Take a look at this vegetable. This is the ridge gourd vegetable, and you use the same method for this vegetable. You can pinch it, and you see my nail went really through in, so that means this ridge gourd vegetable is very tender, so that means we are going to leave it here for 2 or 3 days. Take a look at this Nanya gourd. We are going to use the same method, which is the pinch method. If you pinch it and it goes through, that means it is tender. You see, my nail went right through. That means this Nanya gourd is tender. This is the bitter melon. And how are we going to know if this is tender or ready to harvest? Well, you know when you're growing bitter melon, when it's small, it's gonna be dark green like this. After a few days, your bitter melon slowly turns light green like this. When this light green goes all the way up to this bitter melon, then that means this bitter melon is tender and ready to harvest. Sometimes your bitter melon can be yellow and red, and usually people wait because they want to save the seed. But you can still eat the bitter melon. So it's not the perfect time to harvest this yellow and red bitter melon because it's too late. Now I'm going to talk about okra to see if it's tender or not. Okra, we are not going to use the pinch method. We are going to grab it with our hand like this, and we are going to open up our thumb and break it from here. I like to call this area the tail area. Now I'm going to show you how to break it. So this is how you do it. I'm going to take the okra and put it on this hand like this. And now I'm going to press on this pointy area and then I'm going to break it. If it broke, that means it is tender. This is how you do it. You see, the pointy area broke. So if it broke, that means that it is tender. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.